Hey, football fans, it's time for the Week 8 preview. Scott Warras and the head coach Eric Treske as the Warriors now sit above 500 in conference play at 3-2. And coach, a couple of big road conference wins. 42-12 was the final last week at Eureka. We'll look back before we look ahead at the big matchup with Aurora. We do have to start, I think, with the obvious question about Nate Griffith. Stretchered off, took a nasty hit in the third quarter at Eureka. What's the latest on Nate? Because when a lot of fans, a lot of folks last saw him, last thought about Warriors football, it was a scary scene. What can you share about Nate's condition?
Yeah, well, the good news, Nate's doing well.
Good.
It's pretty miraculous, I'm not going to lie. So he took a bad hit, as you mentioned, and had a brief concussion. So when I got on the field, they let me know, hey, it looked like he blacked out for a moment. By the time I was on the field, he was responsive, but was not really able to move his right arm much, so there was some concern with that, as you might imagine. But, you know, within a few, probably 15, 20 seconds or so, he was able to gain movement again. Was totally, himself, which is, a witty, goofy guy. Nate's a sharp kid, and was just being pretty funny, actually, on the field. But yeah, they took him into the hospital for precaution, said there's no symptoms. Comes on Monday, does his impact test, which is like a review of any concussion symptoms, and no symptoms. Gets evaluated by the doctor on Wednesday, does another impact test, and he scored even higher than he did in the beginning of the season. So Nate's only getting smarter and getting better, but it's just, I'm really grateful that he's doing okay. Out of precaution, obviously, we're not going to play him. We actually, our team doc had some contacts with the NFL and kind of their concussion team, and they recommended giving him at least another week. But really grateful that he's all right. Those are scary moments. Wow. Obviously, it affects him, the team, and he's such a great young man, great leader in the team, and I'm just glad he's okay.
Mm-hmm. That is great, and that's the most important thing that should come out of this conversation that we're going to have, Coach. You always see this whenever that happens at every level. Somebody's carted off, carried off, let alone stretchered off, like was the case with Griff. The impact in that moment on the rest of the guys who have to see that unfold.
Oh yeah.
And then recalibrate and let's go keep playing our game. It's such a hard juxtaposition to balance.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's like you get detached, from the game.
To be a robot almost, just to kind of
a little bit, and that's such a challenging moment. I think for our team, it's a challenging moment as a coach. I'm sitting there on the field praying with Griff and talking to him, and all of a sudden it's like, all right, it's 4th and 4, let's go. And it's just really surreal. Having to get back and be task oriented, but. One thing I'll say is those moments are really opportunities for your leadership in your program to shine. And I saw quite a few of our guys, despite the emotion, help our guys get present again, lead not just by word but by action. I think of Connor Martin and Layson and Nevad and even like Brightson, Amutenda, and some of these guys were just finding their voice, helping the guys be encouraged. And I thought we were able to respond in a good way.
Yeah. I do want to ask you about the game. First of all, you get out to a 28-0 lead. We always talk about getting out to a fast start for your own good, just to kind of send the message to the opponent. Man, you guys did that between Griff and then Josh Rico, who finished it out at quarterback. But to get that fast start was great to see.
Yeah, it was. We felt like we had a strong game plan. We felt like we had good matchups that we could take advantage of, and the guys execute. It feels good, to play the game, the way that you're capable of. I think that's what our guys have been looking for, a complete football game all year long. Offense, defense, specials all playing, a significant role, and we're getting closer and closer to that, and that's good. We're going to play some tough opponents as the year progresses.
I would be remiss if I didn't ask you to comment on the second longest play from scrimmage in Warriors history.
That's pretty cool, yeah.
92-yarder, a little swing or so pass, you might say, from Josh Rico to Jamil Gordon. And I don't know, maybe 90 of the 92 was all after catch, whatever it was, but a pretty special play. Talk us through that play.
Man,
describe that thing.
Well, so our quarterback, we always tell him, your job is to protect the box, right? We want to be a run-oriented team, as you've noticed throughout the year. We believe championship teams are teams that can run the football. But the quarterback's job in those instances is to make sure that we're doing it in a good situation, right? We're not at a disadvantage. And so Josh just did a great job, reading the defense, kind of seeing where our numbers lied. Ended up getting the ball to Jameel, had a great block by Bennett Reeder, which is huge. And then as you see, Jameel's so explosive. He's such a decisive runner with the ball. I think every week we're like trying to find more ways for him to impact the game, and it was great to see him have a breakout day. He was due, and I was excited for him.
Dyerson to Reeves back in the day for 94.
Olivet, screen. I remember I was there. Yep. Big time play on the far sideline.
Yeah,
Reeves.
at their place.
Yep.
So you've been on the field for the 2 longest plays in Warriors history now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's
Player
pretty cool.
and coach.
Yep.
Before we move on, talk Senior Day, talk Aurora. Warrior of the Week, who got the nod by you and the staff for last Saturday?
Yeah, there's a lot of guys obviously we could have gone to. Nathan Nash, offensive lineman tackle for us, was ultimately who we settled on. Nate's a quiet leader. He's a guy that works hard but doesn't say a lot. But he also is a guy that everyone kind of looks to. And so there's some responsibility sometimes in that's hard. And we've seen him come out of his shell, be a little bit more vocal, coaching guys up. We have some young offensive linemen that are growing and getting better, and Nate's been a huge part of that. He's helping those guys throughout the practice week and even on Saturday. So really proud of him, embracing that role, even though that's something that doesn't come as natural to him. And that was good to see.
Personal growth.
Yeah.
You love that.
That's what it's about.
We love that. Okay, Saturday with the 6-time defending champion Aurora Spartans coming to town, and we'll get to that in a second. But before that, it's the last home game, hard to believe, which means Senior Day will be celebrated and commemorated before kickoff. This year you have 18 seniors, 17 players, and a senior manager. Obviously can't go through all 18 names, but what do you hope those 18 young men take from that little snippet of time before kickoff? What do you hope they draw from that experience?
It's going to be emotional.
Yeah.
It's emotional for us as coaches, and it's going to be very emotional for the players. That kind of that realization that, man, this part of my life, this part of my journey is coming to an end. But I hope the guys are able to center in on the memories that they made, the friendships that they grew, the lessons that they learned. Someday they're going to think back. I'm very far from my journey, but I can think back to the things that I learned during that time. And lastly, I just hope they're able to let the people that support them through this journey, let them know how much they care. We're going to have a lot of family, people that are there to support our young men, and I hope that they're able just to think about, just for a moment, man, like all that it takes to allow them to pursue what they love to do and play in the game. So, yeah, it's going to be a great day. I'm excited to see those guys compete. I've seen this group grow, not just as players, but really just as leaders, as young men. It's been an enjoyable group to coach, and I'm excited to see them compete at home for one more time.
And you'd probably recommend, to the families, parents, but the overall families who are there, offer them the same advice. Take that in, because for a lot of them, it's going to be the last time they see their sons, their grandsons, their nephews, whatever, at least in a home game.
Yeah.
On a football field after high school and peewees and all that stuff, driving them around.
Yeah.
Right?
Their journey very much becomes part of your journey,
Right.
and their community becomes part of your community, all those things, and so, yeah, it's one of those moments. You just, hey, soak it up, enjoy it, reflect, look back on like how good God is and allowed, us to have these moments together. So, yeah.
1 o'clock is the kickoff, so get there a little early for the pregame ceremony, maybe about a half hour or so ahead of time, just to make sure you got a seat. The Aurora Spartans, they have been the peak, the pinnacle of this conference now since Don Beebe basically took over. 6-time champions. Not sure they're going to get it this year, though. They've stumbled a couple times. Coach, how have you, and we talked about this last year too, but how have you stressed with your team to focus on this group of Aurora Spartans?
Yeah.
Prepare and play the 2025 Spartans, not the 24, 23, 22 Spartans. Just focus on this group.
Yeah, that's the key. You can't play their logo. You can't play their history. You know, the guys that we need to overcome are the guys lined up right across from us, the guys that we've been studying on film, you know, for over a week now. That's the mission. That's the standard, and that can be hard to do. You know, it's real easy. It's kind of coach speak. You know, but if you're a guy that's been in our program, you can easily fall back into, man, I remember what it was like, or here we go again, or all those types of things. But, you know, I think that was even reflecting on last year. We had a good team last year, and, you know, when you watch the film, I'm like, man, there's some plays in this game that, like, we usually make. And I feel like we were either pressing or we felt like this extra emotion. And it's like, guys, you need to be yourself. You need to trust in your preparation. And you need to realize that these guys have to do everything the same way we do. And so I'm excited. I like our game plan. I like our group. You know, I know we're going to be playing a good football team, but that's what you want. You train hard to see where you're at against this type of team, and I'm looking forward to seeing the result.
Just for a beat longer, sustained drives, right? I mean, I think are something, and you're always looking for that. But to your team's credit, you look at the last 2-3 weeks or so, you guys have started to put some sustained scoring drives together, and that might be never more important than Saturday.
Yeah, without a doubt. You know, seeing consistent execution. You know, and some of that we've talked in weeks past. You know, early on in the year, we just didn't have a lot of explosive plays, and so it puts you know, the onus on an offense to repeat, you know, 10 to 14, 6 to 8 yard plays. That's really tough. There's not a lot of offenses in the country that can do that at any level. And so you're starting to see some of those chunk plays are happening. You know, our passing game's gotten, I think, a little bit more effective, you know, and those things help open up the rest of the offense, and then that in turn helps your defense. So it's all, you know, one big, you know, harmonious movement. But yeah, I'm excited just to see the next step.
And you do have a lot of young guys that are getting opportunities. We'll see Josh Rico play some quarterback, obviously, on Saturday. You've got to be somewhat excited to see how these young guys take on a program, but a team like Aurora, who has a lot of talent, that's got to be exciting, an exciting challenge.
Yeah, it's fun to see. You know, Josh is the guy that's been getting better every week. You know, there's some things in his game I really like. I think he's strong. He's willing to stand in the pocket. He's got good eyes. You know, as we've been able to work more reps, he's been able to see what he needs to, and he can throw the ball with some velocity, which is important. Those windows are going to open and close quickly. And he's got the skills to do it. So the last thing I'll say is specific to him. Josh is not intimidated. He's played in big football games. You know, he's been in, you know, huge key playoff games. He's done those types of things. So I see him very calm. I see him very collected, very coachable, and that's good. That's what we need on Saturday, and he'll get us right. He'll be ready.
When you play high school football in Texas, big crowds,
bright
bright lights,
state
a lot of
championship
pressure,
games. He's been all those
games.
things, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good point.
Yep.
All right, Coach, before we let you go, time-honored tradition, we play 5 questions. As we sit here, it is, was the 31st, right? Happy Halloween. Happy Halloween. All Halloween-themed questions for the coach. Number 1, scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being nothing, 10 being you're running scared. How scary a movie can you stomach? Like, where are you on the scary movie scale? 10 being crazy, 1 being
Movies don't really scare me. They don't appeal to me.
Right.
You know, so they're definitely not something I'm going to choose. But yeah, when I was younger, I'd watch scary movies, and it never really bothered me. Yeah, so
I like a good. I'm not a gore and that type of stuff,
you
but
like a thriller, don't you?
if it's like a psychological, you know, the mind goes places that nothing can show on TV. So yeah, I'm a psychological thriller. Number 2, the 1 candy bar you'd want in full size over the minis when trick-or-treating. You know, there was always like that one house, and they would give out the whole candy bar, the big thing, not the minis. What would be that candy bar in full size?
A full-size candy bar? Oh, man. Maybe a Snickers, you know? Yeah, I mean, for a full size, it's got to have some it can't just be a straight chocolate bar. Like, I don't mind a little chocolate, but you got to have a mix. Yeah.
Number 3, a haunted house or a haunted hayride?
Neither.
Pass.
I'll pass on both.
Wow.
Yeah.
Number 4.
I'm no fun of Halloween, brother. This is gonna be the worst 5 questions because I'm not a big Halloween guy.
How old is too old to go trick-or-treating?
Oh man. I mean, we'll say when you hit middle school, like if you got shades of a mustache, You're too far. You've gone too far. You know, it's definitely a little kid thing. Yep.
I always say, like, if you're driving your friends to the neighborhoods to go trick or treating,
Oh, then you're way too far gone. Then you're way too far gone. Yeah, you got to go find another hobby.
Okay, rank these pumpkin-infused items by preference.
Okay.
I'm going to give you 4 things. So, pumpkin spice latte, pumpkin pie, pumpkin bread, pumpkin soup.
Ooh.
Pumpkin spice latte, pie, bread, soup.
Okay.
Preference.
I'm gonna go latte first, just because I'm a coffee guy. I don't really get it often, but you know, I'm not. If someone were to offer me a pumpkin spice latte, I wouldn't refuse.
Okay.
Then I think I'm gonna go with the pie. I think it's a classic. I mean, we just had pies last week.
You did.
Some guys had pumpkin pie. I wound up with peach, but pumpkin was a hit, and it will be again on Thanksgiving, right? So pumpkin pie, definitely a solid pumpkin option. And then I think the next one I'd go with is pumpkin bread.
Okay.
I actually like pumpkin bread. It's pretty good. And then, yeah, I'm going to say the soup's last.
Have you ever had pumpkin soup?
I've had it.
Okay.
It's not bad. You're not, like...
You can't have a lot of it.
mad
Like
you had it.
once a year.
Yeah.
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 Okay, good. And the bonus question, we'll get you out on this one, Coach. Going back to your childhood, when you were trick-or-treating, what's your most memorable costume? Do you remember, like, oh, one year I was a pirate or a something or other? Any good costume from your childhood?
The best one when I was a kid, I'd say my brother and I went together. He's a lot younger than me. And so he went as a football player, and I wore like my dad's suit, and I was his agent. So like I think I was maybe 6th or 7th grade. I was like older, but I would take him around. He was a lot younger than me at the time, and yeah, I walked around with
That's
his
awesome.
agent. So I was like, give my man some candy.
Are you negotiating the candy?
You know, yeah. Can we do 3 of these, and I'll even trade you? Yeah. So we bartered a little
It's like
bit.
Jerry
but,
Maguire.
Yeah.
Good stuff. All right, it is senior day. It's the home finale, Saturday, 1 o'clock. Warriors taking on the Aurora Spartans. 12:30 for the pregame show. We'll have it on My 24, of course, at WLCSports.com on the YouTube channel. And Coach Treske will be there leading the charge. Appreciate it.
You bet.
All the best. Thanks for watching, everybody.